Hey, what is up YouTube? This is the Merman Master coming at you guys from the Team Time Riders YouTube channel, and I'm back again with my Elemental Hero Neos deck that I used to go 3-1 at locals and place in the top cut. So I'm going to show you guys how to do some test hands with this deck. Very excited. As you guys can see here, it's not shuffled yet, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pile shuffle this on camera. This is the classic thing that I like to do, just so that you guys understand that, you know, there's going to be no stacking here. And yeah, one of the big things that I value in this deck is its consistency. You know, this deck will almost always get you the pieces that you need. Very rarely bricks for me, and you know, I used it in several different situations to win against opponents when they had, you know, either bricked hands or other things weren't quite working as well. And you know, I think doing the right things and doing them correctly is the way that you're supposed to play this deck. And you know, that means getting out your fusion monsters and using those fusion monsters' effects to win you the game. At the end of the day, you're toolboxing here. This deck is focused primarily around the ease of getting out your Neos fusions, including the OG ones, which won me several games. And so, you know, when we shuffle up this deck, I'm gonna show you hands. I'm gonna show you play styles and structures and stuff like that, so that you can make your own judgment on how to play this deck. So let's get going. I'm gonna start this things out. You know, we always wanna go second, and so I'm gonna start with 6 cards because there was not a single time over the weekend that I was told that that I couldn't go second or that I had to go first. So I almost always got to go second. So we've got 6 cards here, and we have a ton of awesome plays that we can do. Like, this is a fantastic hand, guys, and we can put a Neos fusion monster on board right away with this hand. First things first that jumps out at me is, of course, we have our Keeper of Dragon Magic. Yes, this may be, like, you know, one of the perfect plays to start things out, because you have Keeper of Dragon Magic and you have a discard in Neos. So here's why Keeper is so great, is because you can activate Keeper. Keeper's effect discards as cost to search. You can search any card that you want. As I said, that includes your fusion deployment, your polymerization, or even Neos fusion. Whichever one you prefer to search out, you can search out using your Keeper of Dragon Magic. So I'm going to show you some play styles focused around your fusion deployment. Everyone already knows how Neos fusion works, and so I'm just going to grab fusion deployment to kind of show you the power of one of these plays. So now that you've searched out your fusion deployment, you have access to any one of the 6 Neo Spacian monsters, depending on what your opponent has on board, which is a super powerful situation to be in. The next thing you can do is you can activate the second effect of Keeper of Dragon Magic, allowing you to bring back your Elemental Hero Neos in face down defense position. What this means is that now he's in face down defense position. If you activate fusion deployment, you can use that card to grab, okay, let's say, you know, Aqua or Flare Neos. So we'll grab the Aqua Neos here, assuming you don't activate the effect or whatever. Now, what you can do is you can contact fuse these guys together, special summon Aqua Neos. Super simple and very easy to pull off. And as you guys notice, we still have 4 cards left in our hand. One of the cards, of course, is our Honesty Neos, and we have these on board. So we have the Aqua Neos and we have this. We can do a number of other plays with this hand as well. So if we wanted to attack directly, we wanted to activate Aqua Neos' discard effect, we can activate the emergency call here, and you know what we can grab? We can grab our Shadow Mist, and we can activate Aqua Neos' discard, take our Shadow Mist, send it to the graveyard, pop a card in my opponent's hand, and then activate Shadow Mist effect in grave to allow us to search out another hero. We can grab our Elemental Hero Prisma, for instance. Alternatively, we have Reinforcements of the Army. So if we didn't want to do this play, You know, you can use this card to grab Aqua Neos, any of your heroes, but you can also use it to grab your Neo Space Connector, which is another great normal summon that you have on board, which can do equally the very similar things to this. You can get out the Aqua Neos, you know, bait out any hand traps that your opponent has. It's a very, very good card. All of that to say, guys, that you do have plays with this hand, and you can toolbox into any one of the 6 monsters depending on the field that you have in front of you, which is super, super good. Now, I'm gonna do another hand just to kind of demonstrate to you more stuff. And this time I'm going to sort of play through the hand in a faster sort of way to show you, I guess, like what I would do with any given hand. So most decks, you know, they want to go first because they want to set up, you know, especially like, you know, Brave token decks and things like that. And so like there's some cards in here that help you bait out a lot of back row. So this hand, still pretty, like it's still a good hand, maybe slightly worse, depending on who you ask. But we do have a fusion deployment. We do have a Neo Space Connector. So we can use the Neo Space Connector, for instance, grab Aqua Dolphin out of the deck and ditch one of the Neoses from our hand to the graveyard. We can use our E-Emergency Call, if we wanted, to grab our Polymerization, or how should I say this, to grab our Elemental Hero Blazeman, who will normal summon, and then grab our Polymerization, guys, and then activate our Polymerization to fuse any of our 2 from hand into Brave Neos. So really depends on what you think will happen. You know, if you think that like your cards will get negated, and of course this is all without activating our fusion deployment yet. You know, you summon your Neo Space Connector, it gets negated, or you summon your Blazeman, it gets negated. You still have a fusion deployment. You can grab a Neos from your hand or deck for a little bit of chump blocking plays and action and stuff like that. So you still have a number of different options with a hand like that, even though it was not the best hand that you could get with 2 Neoses in it. Granted, you know, there are some hands that will brick less than others, but this is just like good rule of thumb knowledge to have when you're playing this deck. Now, drawing our next hand here. Okay, very interesting. Looks like we have one of our OTK enablers, Contact, out in here. We also have our Elemental Hero Honesty Neos. We've got a Flare Scarab for normal summon. We have a Miracle Contact, and we have a Fusion Deployment. This is actually, you can go for game with this hand, and I think it's a perfect hand for us to end this kind of test hand video on, just to show you guys all of the play structures that you can do here. Granted, these 2 will be mutually exclusive, so you have to figure out whether and how you're going for your OTK before activating either one of these. Because if you activate Neos Fusion, you won't be able to activate Contact Out. And in order to resolve Contact Out, you can't send back a monster that was summoned by Neos Fusion, because you have no special summon plays for the rest of the game. So here's what we're going to do to start things out. We're going to start out by normal summoning our Flare Scarab, and we're going to activate Fusion Deployment. Fusion Deployment is going to grab us our Elemental Hero Neos to the field. Elemental Hero Neos and Flare Scarab will combine together, summon our Elemental Hero Flare Neos. Now we've got this big guy on board, and we have a number of different plays that we can kind of consider from here, okay? So first things first, we can activate our Neos Fusion to grab something. We can activate our Contact Out if we want to swing for additional damage. We can, we will be boosting a monster with our Elemental Hero Honesty Neos. And then Miracle Contact is not useful right now, but will be useful in the future. So with each of those plays, we can choose to do any number of things. So with a Contact Out, what we would do is we could attack in, you know, ditch the Honesty Neos for however much attack power. And of course, even set these 2 to give an extra 800 attack power to our Flare Neos. Bring back out these 2, and on an empty field, you know, you're swinging for pretty high damage and sometimes possibly even game with this. So super, super good. But then if we wanted, alternatively, guys, with the contact out lacking, we can activate our Neos Fusion, and we can send to our graveyard any number of monsters to kind of help us out. So we could go for Brave Neos, or we could go for, you know, Air Neos. So maybe that would be a good play. So do Flare Neos and Air Neos. And that way, you start out first by swinging with Air Neos to gain advantage of the high attack power, and then you go in with Flare Neos to seal the game. All of that to kind of showcase, guys, how powerful the OTK plays are in this deck. And you noticed that we never really even got into some of the main cards that a lot of people run in decks and strategies like these. But you can see how powerful the deck is even when your hands are not as optimized. As I said, guys, it's about consistency and fusion summoning to get you to where you want to go when you want to be there. The entire extra deck and main deck is a toolbox to allow you to take advantage of all of those super, super amazing plays. And once you get down the idea that all you need is either a copy of Neos and any Neo Spacian on your board to help things out is great. And you can see we're summoning them the normal way, the normal contact fusion way. We're not cheating them out usually, you know, using Neos Fusion or Next or your Miracle Contact, because most of those cards are not searchable, and a lot of times you'll get ashed. So the important thing for me was, you know, you want to be able to summon these guys normally and be able to go into fusion monsters even when all of your search cards get negated. And that's what I think that I've tried to accomplish here, and why I think I was as successful as I was in the tournament. But if you guys like this test hands video, feel free to drop a like in the to the video, and then also you know, shoot me a comment and subscribe to the channel. And well, guys, this has been the Mermail Master with the Team Time Riders YouTube channel, and I'm signing out. Catch you guys next time. Peace.